Hopefully you can't tell, but I just got back from working in Signub. The red shirt might give it away now. And I'm so tired. I'm going to have a shower and show you some of the deliveries that I got. Yeah. Shower first, and then we shall talk. Now, it's a Mistral tower fan. Why? Oh no, it's not an end thing. It's a one-handed locks. Not bad. I think I've got a watering situation happening outside as well. Quickly going on out there. I just want to get my plants nice and watered. Oh, look at that! It's got a remote control. It does not. It doesn't have the plastics. Someone's taken the peel off already. I can now plug it in. Look, it's got this indentation on the top. That's weird. Do I put a drink in there? Is that a cup holder? The remote doesn't even fit, so it's kind of weird. 4 fans is pretty interesting. So we have the symbols match: speed, oscillate, timer, mode, power. Turn it on. Got the remote happening. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's let's have a look at the clock to see what it is. Wednesday, the 27th, 2024. Wednesday 27th, and that's what, 2:30. I just finished work at Signub and I just had a shower, so I'm feeling refreshed, but man, tired as. Whew-wee. I do get paid tonight, so I'm in a good mood. I'm happy to be paid. I got the aircon going. I got the fans going. It is 32 degrees centigrade. Wow, it's very hot. I got 2 thermometers. One of them, that one's inaccurate, I do believe, and this one here is somewhat accurate. What's that? It's saying it's 28 degrees there, centigrade, almost the 30 mark. That's crazy, man. It's just coming to the end of spring, start of summer, and yeah, very, very warmish. Let's go log on. Here we go. So yeah, we got a couple of things in the mail. So I got, this is a Christmas present for me from my daughters, which I got to give to them to package up. This I bought for myself. I can't believe it. This battery over here. Oh, I'm missing it in here. This is a Sony battery, an IDX, I think it is, Sony battery. And while it's a big and beautiful battery, and it does have USB output, and it also has what I thought was a D-tap out, but it's actually X-tap. I've never heard of X-tap before, and it's really hard to find pre-made cables to hook into X-tap devices. So I bought an X-tap connector with some cabling and wire and stuff. So that's something I'm going to solder up, not solder, solder up later, so I can power the oh yeah, because I've got a dummy battery. I've got this Sony dummy battery with a D-tap connector, which I'm going to swap out for the X-tap connector, so then I can get the monitor working off the dummy battery with a Sony battery connected and have a USB device hooked up to that, so I can have X-tap and USB, because I've got 2 other Sony batteries right there ready to use as well. So I'm taking what's the word? I'm wanting to do the video creation, movie making, in a similar style to, well, I'm going to steal ideas from Casey Neistat, Peter McKinnon, Ali Gallup, my favorite, Ali Gallup, and not script things at all. Might have dot points from time to time, but basically have snippets of what's going on in my life. So I'm going to try and get some video of work and things like that, and what I'm working on as well. So over here is my little video production, music production, recording, studio setup. It's all on a desk. So I've got an overhead camera rig here, which is my original A camera, a Canon EOS M3 mirrorless. I've got the Canon, I can't remember if it's XA or CA. I think it's XA10 camcorder. I use a camcorder because I've got a wide angle lens on this one. I've also got a telephoto 2x lens, and it's got a built-in zoom lens. So I can have normal wide or telephoto with unlimited power, unlimited recording, and unlimited time to record on that simple device. And it breaks down into this compact unit. If I take that off and the adapter off, and I take the handle off, and I just have that unit, it's like something that fits in my hand. And it does, I've got the capability of doing macro, close-up, mid, wide, all in the one unit with professional sound, XLR inputs, plus 3.5mm. So I can do, I just love it. I just absolutely love this thing. It's got a dual card slot, SD slots here, so you can do internal memory, then relay that to A, relay that to slot B, and then it doesn't run out of memory basically. I love that camera so much. I've got to do a review, not a review, but a whole breakdown of why I love that so much. It's got all these extra little functions in it built in, which modern day cameras do not have. There's some things it doesn't have, of course, but I just love it. And I film in 1080p, so I'm not interested in 4K, which this is 1080p. Limitations, of course, but love it. This is the setup. I just love that setup so much. And I've got the whole desk on wheels, so I can maneuver, I can just wheel this whole thing around, and all the power goes into the side and into outlets on the bottom there. I'm just rambling now, so I'll probably cut things in and out of this. They're the two cameras I use predominantly on that setup there, and then this one is the one I'm on videoing right now is the Canon EOS, it's in reverse of course, M6 Mark II. This camera is a really good photographic camera and a pretty good video camera. It doesn't suffer from the Moira that the EOS M3 suffered from, because the sensor was, the pattern of the sensor to pick up the different colors was too uniform, and therefore when you come across the mesh on this window, for example, it would do a really funny Moira pattern, and you don't get that with this one. I can show you maybe on another, but I don't have it on that one either, the XA10, which is interesting. It's only this one here, so that's an older camera, 2012. This one's like 2016, 2017. And it's funny that camcorder does a better job with video, like no Moira and things like that. Whereas this mirrorless, it suffered from Moira really bad. Moira, the randomized patterns. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but M-O-I-R-E is how it's spelled. So right now, I want to catch up and do the day 1 p.m. I think I missed, and the day 2 a.m. and then the day 2 p.m. video update. So I've got to do 3 videos. They're only going to be short right now, and I'll do that now and you'll see it. So I'll show you that. I'll probably mash it all into one. Actually, I'll mash it into one video so we don't have to have 3 separate videos. I did the day 1 a.m. as a live stream, and I'll have to then copy that down as a download and re-upload it as a proper video, because I don't think anyone's noticed that it's there because it's live instead of being a video that you get notified about. So I'll do that first. Alright, let's catch you in the video. Well, I am also applying like crazy for IT jobs, which I used to be working in. IT, fantastic. Oh, hang on, I think I've got the... There we go, autofocus. Yeah, IT is something that I really like, but it's just gone dead. 2024 2024, end of 2023 was like dead. IT died. Now IT's coming back to life. I just got 2 emails from 2 separate recruiters looking for some IT people. So I've just quickly done some job applications, and I'm in the middle of talking with people. Wow, so exciting times. Let's see how we go. As much as I love Signub, I want to get back into IT. Now, we'll do some more videos. Okay, so we're back again. It is day 2 p.m. Yeah, I gotta remember because I skipped last. Man, I think I skipped. Yeah, day 2 yesterday I skipped. So this is day 2 yesterday. God, I knew this would happen because I had to go to a dinner last night. I did the morning, day 2 a.m. and then I missed out the day 2 p.m. because I got home like at 9:45, and I had to get up at 4 a.m. the next day to go to work, which is today, day 3. Dang, very confusing because it's Wednesday now. So day 1 and 2 was Monday, Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. Oh my God, I'm so confused. This is actually day 3 today, but I've got to do day 2 p.m. from last night, and day 3 a.m. and then day 3 p.m. Oh my God, no, I'm going to just make it one big video and call it day 2 and day 3. Yep, it's too confusing otherwise. So what's happened? Let's have a look. So in our YouTube studio, we'll see what's changed. And I don't think there's a lot that's actually changed. I managed to do a live stream, and the live stream for day 2 a.m. This one here, day 2 a.m. Yep, we had. Oh, where are the stats for that? Is that the one? Live streaming. Here we go. Stats, analytics. For this one, we had 1 view. What's that? 1 view. What's time? What? It's saying 5 views. Oh, it lasts 48 hours. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, okay, so that's 48 hours. 5 views in total. So it's a lot less because I think because it was a live stream as opposed to a published video. So if I go back and look at videos, I just did it. I uploaded it or published it like earlier this afternoon, and there's already 2 views on that one. On the dashboard, we're still sitting at 95. So I'm just interested to see, in the progress of getting ChatGPT to guide me to be a movie maker, what's actually happening in real time as well. And there's not a lot of movement. There's been a little bit of movement. And in the summary, we've got 424 views. Watch time 18.8. It'll be interesting to see what the analytics are saying. You see, it does these weird things. It spikes up. So views 424, 244 more than usual. Watch time hours 18.8, 12.8 hours more than usual. 3 subscribers, 200% more than previous 28 days. So for the last month, we've got 3 new subscribers. So things are trending up, but it's nowhere near as fast as what I thought it might be. But it's still significant for my micro channel. So because the views I typically get, like I said before, is in the 9, 10s, teens. But in the last little while, since doing this exercise, it's grown, I don't know, 7-fold maybe 5-fold. So yeah, we're getting more views for sure. That's good. So I think it's helping.
So with in helping in terms of growing the channel, I actually wanted a quick growing channel, but now the more I look into it, the more that lends itself to just being burnt out and not enjoying the whole process of YouTube, creating videos, uploading them, and building a community and friendship. Build a community. It's all about just making friends, basically, online. Let's break it down. So I like making friends. This is really cool, and I love making videos. I do not know why, but it's there. And I think that's the commonality, the common link that I've got between the Casey Neistats, the Ali Gallups, a lot of other YouTubers out there that I really appreciate, like Peter McKinnon, etc. I'm not saying that I am like them. I'm not saying that I've got the ability that they've got. I'm just saying there's a commonality in those people enjoying making movies for making movies' sake. That's it. Even Van Neistat, Casey Neistat's brother, is in this category. He just likes making movies. Even if no one watched them, they'd still make movies. That's the same as me. I just love it. I don't know why. It's so weird. And it gives me kind of hope to think that I might be able to become a YouTuber that way, just because, that's... If this is all that my whole YouTube career turns out to be, just making videos for me and a very, very small audience, I'm happy with that, honestly. Because I'm not losing the inspiration and the enjoyment of making videos, where I've seen so many YouTubers complain about getting burnt out. And it's like, because they're following this unrealistic schedule for such a long time. Admittedly, I'm doing like short videos now for a couple of days running, and it... I don't know. I don't find it onerous. I just find it... I wish I could have more opportunity to get more video to put into the edit at the end. That's my problem. Is I've got I want to put too much into each video. And that's why they're so long and so tedious and so boring. So I've got to actually cut back what it is I want to put in and reduce rather than make more. So that's very confusing. But anyway, it makes sense to me. What am I going to do right now? So right now, I just want to jot down. Here we go. In MindJet, my manager, I'm going to make some notes. So we can get. I might need that open actually. Let's have a look. Because what I want to do, make some notes on, as per Chad's request, I make some notes on the output for the ideas Chad's got to help me make better movies or make movies. So one of those was to take notes on the people that inspire me. So I've identified a couple of people that inspire me. So I just add some notes to that. So I'm going to do it. I'll do it there. No, I'll do it over here. I've got the outline already. So we're doing this one, not this one. This one here, we're doing 30 to 60 minutes a day. Day 1, day 2, inspiration study. So watch video tutorials, short films that align with your aspirations. So, Ali Gallup. Yep, got it. Say Casey Neistat. There's quite a few, but I'll just pick on the big ones because Peter McKinnon is actually up there as well. He's probably one of the guys that I was watching most. Anyway, but that's the order I really want it now, because I really like what Ali Gallup is doing, and so I'm going to make some notes around what he's doing that I like. Analyze creative styles, take notes on what resonates with you. So okay, I'm just going to copy those and we'll expand on that. Don't you love this mind mapping tool? So cool. So what he does, he basically has no planning, which is common to Casey Neistat as well. I think Peter McKinnon is different. He has, I think, a heavy dose of planning. Like, he'll go to the extent of fixing up backgrounds to make it look really, really beautiful or aesthetically pleasing. So the colours, so complementary colours like the orange and teal or blue and orange, like a sunset type like colours, orange and blue. Whereas I think Casey Neistat will look at the composition more than the colour scheme, but he'll look at the colour scheme a bit. A couple of notes I know from Casey's examples is he does not like handheld video. He prefers a camera sitting on a tripod, and so it's all fixed. Whereas I actually love handheld, so that's another thing which is different between the three. Handheld camera, whereas Casey's got tripod fixed camera. Peter McKinnon's got a combination of the two, actually. Handheld and tripod gimbal fixed camera. It's really interesting. Yeah, I find that interesting that that's the case there as well. In terms of the edit, I think I mentioned before, I do a regular save from the self-training that I got by accident when my Amiga 500 computer that I used at university had this faulty power supply, and it used to just randomly blow up literally and stop working. The whole machine would freeze or just go blank, and I'd literally lose hours and hours of work. So I got myself in the habit of saving every few minutes, just in case something like that happens. At least I'd only lose the last 4 or 5 minutes of work. Still got that habit. Man, that's like 20 years ago. No, God, it's longer. I was 24 then. I'm almost 60 now. Far out. That's over 40 years ago. Whoa! What the hell? That has stayed with me for 40 years. Holy cow. Talk about memories and habits. Hey, okay, so Ali Gallup, he editing. So he does fast edits. And like he captures raw video in places that he is in, not going to places to video, the opposite. I hope that makes sense. Because in one of the interviews Ali Gallup had, he was saying he grabs the camera, goes places, and then the story unfolds in front of him. He captures video as he goes. It's not planned. It's really interesting. Whereas I know from what Casey Neistat said, he has shots in his mind and then captures the shots, the scenes. Apparently, my eyes are bad. Like, screen's just out of view. Peter McKinnon, he does a lot of fast edits. Peter McKinnon, it's interesting. He's got the common thing there is fast edits, I think, and just God pre-plans like a champion, pre-plans everything basically. Like there was a camera shoot a photo shoot that he took photos of Kiefer Sutherland, the guy who was in 24, in that series 24, the son of Donald Sutherland. Yeah, very famous American actor. He managed to, through a friend of a friend, get the chance to photograph Kiefer Sutherland. And in the preparation for that shoot, it was a 4-minute shoot. Kiefer Sutherland came in, Peter McKinnon sat him down, and 4 minutes later they left the photo studio area with the photos taken. So what Peter McKinnon did was got his friend, set up the whole shoot with the lighting and setup and seating situation and camera situation, everything pre-planned, sat Kiefer down and then took the photos and then they left. So heaps of pre-planning, whereas Casey and Ali do none of that. If there's any, it's done very ad hoc and very last minute. Hey, can you grab this camera? Can you hold that tripod for me? Oh, I'm meeting over here. I'll meet you there at 2 hours. Bring this stuff. That kind of almost run and gun type shooting. It's very interesting. So there's a bit of a difference between what Peter McKinnon does and what Casey Neistat and Ali Gallup do. And the history of these guys is interesting. Like Casey really leapt forward from his daily vlogs in 2016. I can't remember, 2016 I think it was. He did daily vlogs for a whole year, and that launched his channel. And Peter McKinnon basically was really bad. I remember the early videos where the thing that got me hooked on Peter McKinnon was his authenticity. He was just himself, like talking to camera, being really authentic and honest. And then he did a lot of tutorials, and he got a lot of people engaged with the value add in terms of, hey, this is how I edit photos, and this is how I chop things up in Photoshop to make it appear this way, and this is what I do to make the photo look really beautiful. And those hints and tips were what really provided the value add from Peter's channel, and he grew fantastically very quickly through that. But he initially he was really bad on. I remember he was really bad and awkward on camera. And then I remember Jesse Driftwood, who's a Canadian as well. He was videoing Peter McKinnon like in the background. It looked, you didn't even know that. You didn't notice that someone else was videoing Peter McKinnon. He was telling the story or stories in his video, and I'm sure he was guided by Jesse Driftwood. And Jesse Driftwood is a really, really good videographer, cinematographer. And so, it was really interesting to watch that transition of being super awkward, super just bad, everything. Lighting was bad, audio was bad, video was bad, and the presentation was bad. And he grew from that and just went all in on data in YouTube Studio and looked at the analytics and just kept on improving and improving and improving. So fixing up background, fixing lighting, fixing camera settings, fixing the story, and fixing the presentation. Yeah, and he's nailed it. He's really good now. I don't know about Casey because I only saw him when he was really doing well. I think he's just really natural in front of the camera anyway. So he's kind of got it. Ali Gallup, he started 2 years ago and he's already got 23,000 people subscribed to his channel. He's going to go to millions of subscribers as well, I can tell, because he's got a similar style to Peter McKinnon and Casey Neistat. It's a little bit of a transition, not a transition, but a mix of both. And he's leaning more towards Casey Neistat type of a aesthetic, but he's got his own take on it, which is really interesting to see him come alive and just be himself. You can really see his personality come through. It's awesome. That's why I think he's going to go a long way, because he's very, very authentic, very real. That's what YouTube's all about. So there's some commonality between the three of these guys and some not, which is really interesting. So they're the notes. That's the extent of the notes that I take. That's pretty much it, because it's just a grab. For day 3, which is I'm into now, day 3 and 4, practice shooting footage with your phone camera, experiment with lighting, angles, editing. Okay, so I got to do that today and tonight. The good news is I started work today. God, I got up at 4 a.m. I wish I'd got some video of that, but I just was in the mind of finishing dinner late, going to bed late, wanting to do the video, but then not doing it this video, and then getting up at 4 a.m. thinking I've got to rush to work. I was 15 minutes early. I could have easily grabbed the camera and taken some video of that. So I've learned from that. Whenever I'm doing something that I want to talk about later, I've got to actually capture the video of it. And it would have been interesting because a 4 a.m. start, I'm finishing at 1 p.m. and I don't feel really hit bad tired. I'm tired, but not like I did a full day's work, 8 hours, and it's not sitting behind the computer work. This is I'm at Signub with a either manual pallet jack or electric pallet jack, physically moving pallets of stock throughout the store. It takes 4 minutes to go from the dock around the store back to the dock again without doing anything except walking completely around. And when I have to drop stock off in either cages or pallets, it can be easily 8 to 10 minutes where you're on your feet, physically tiring yourself out, getting all this work done. And that's like 8 hours on your feet, working, moving, no time to, even go to the toilet. It's just far out, flat out. I do go to the toilet, but it's like it's rushed. The whole thing's rushed. Yeah. It's 8 hours of non-stop physical activity. So I'm doing something in the order of 24, sometimes as high as 30,000 steps a day. Let that sink in for a bit. Like it's God, I was so tired when I first started doing this job. I've got to tell you, it's the most physically demanding job, and I love it. I really like it. Yes, I thought I'd be a lot tired, but I'm not. I'm pretty good. So I've got an idea for practicing the shooting. So one of the notes I had earlier, you might have seen, was 30 FPS, so 30 frames per second. The idea is, here in Australia, we do 25 frames per second as a kind of a standard. Actually, it's 25. Yeah, it's 25 because we have 50 hertz power supply, and we typically do a 50th of a second to stop the flickering occurring, which means 180 degree rule would make us 25 frames per second to stop flickering the movies. While it's not cinematic 24 frames per second, 25 frames per second is still close enough in my mind. Some people can tell the difference, but I can't. And one of the tips I heard about was to get a real unique kind of take on video, was to go a little bit outside of the norm in frames per second. So one of the tips I heard was to go 30 frames per second and then play that back on a 25 frame per second time frame, which means it's going to be slightly slowed down. And what I'm interested to see is, does that affect the audio significantly, where people go, "Ooh, that sounds really bad," as in a warbled slow motion type of audio, or is it going to make it something else? So I want to experiment with 30 frames per second on a 25 frame per second timeline and see what the output looks like. So I want to experiment with that, because if I can make that work, that will be one unique thing that I bring to all my videos going forward. And there's an example here. Try a small experiment like creating a 30-second time lapse or playing with color grading. I've done some color grading in the past, and to be honest, the amount of effort that's required to make that look good, God, it's not worth it in my mind. You can make it look, spectacular, but God, audio has got much bigger impact than video. I think there are some examples where that is not the case. So Blade Runner, the video cinematography in Blade Runner is just phenomenal. The Fifth Element is another one. I really love the video work, the cinematography in that. It's just, I love it. There's some examples, like Avatar again. Interstellar is another one. The video is really inspiring. So, but for what I'm doing, YouTube, yeah, I don't know. The color grading that I've attempted to do before is just so much effort for so little return. It's not worth it. So I'm not going to worry about color grading, but I will look at audio, special effects, Foley. I love that. So definitely going to do that. So I'll add in here the sound design. So this will include music, Foley, which Foley, in case you don't know, Foley is the sound effects. So instead of, the classic example I always come up with is the, what is it? Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. That animated movie. They showed some behind the scenes footage, and where the hamburgers are hitting the ground, it's actually, I think it was a mop, which was wet, and then they grabbed it and threw it on some wood or something like that. And it just made the sound that they were visualizing and that you could see in the animation, and it nailed it so much. It was not a hamburger hitting the ground, it was something completely different, a wet mop hitting cardboard or something like that. And it just opened my eyes to, oh wow, you can use anything to make the sound that you actually want. So in my mind, Foley is really cool, and I call myself the sound guy. I've got a sound guy podcast, and so it just blends really well, lends itself to me putting more effort into Foley. So music, Foley, sound effects. What else is there? I think that's the edit itself. I want to do that. So I'll put here videography. I'll make that 30 frames per second. Editing. I'm going to go fast edits. Yep. So that we lose the ums and ahs, the gaps, and it just is, constantly moving. Bang, 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 bang. So I think what's happening is people are losing the ability to concentrate and remain engaged with video content in particular, especially on their phones. They're wanting, to get straight to the point and be impactful, be entertaining, and maintain that attention for as long as possible. So like the Casey Neistat editing, the Ali Gallup editing, Peter McKinnon as well. It's all Peter McKinnon's in particular has driving like rock pop music in the background, and it's synced to the video. And Casey's it fluctuates between kind of upbeat, aggressive music, or sometimes relaxed, or no music at all. Ali Gallup, he has moments of silence and moments of extreme, messy, noisy, like distracting background music, or sounds, let's say soundtrack music, and then he'll modify that accordingly, and he'll put lots of Foley in as well. I've noticed that Peter McKinnon does a lot of Foley. Casey Neistat does a lot of Foley. In fact, that's something I've got to capture here. So sound, lots of Foley. That's another common thing between all of these guys. They do that. They put a lot of effort into sound effects. So that's what else have we got? Fast hits, Foley. I think moments of silence is interesting, because they all do that as well. When they want to have you think about something, they'll have this this pause, and they also, Ali does this more than any of them. What he does with the video, he'll often have blank like black screen, and that's a big no-no apparently, because people when they see a black screen they go, oh, that's the end or whatever, they switch off. But he does that a lot. He puts a black screen in to go from one place to another almost. So it's really cool that he's brave enough to do that, and a lot of people are scared to do that. So yeah, that's something I might include as well. That can go on edit. One thing I noticed as well, lots of transitions. So Peter McKinnon puts a lot of transitions in between scenes, whereas Casey, he does a fair bit too, but he does a lot of jump cuts. So jump cuts, and Ali Gallup does both. He does both. He has lots of transitions and jump cuts. So that's an interesting difference as well. So I'm going to lend myself to be more like Ali Gallup in that way. So I'll change the videography to see if I can do 30 frames per second. On a 25 frames per second timeline. I'll get music and Foley and moments of silence worked in. I'll do fast edits, and I'll have blank and black screens where appropriate, and lots of transitions and jump cuts. And the other big thing for me is I actually want to stick to that camcorder I'm using right now. I've got the Canon EOS M6 Mark II, which is a pretty good camera, but because it's a interchangeable lens system, I've got so many lenses that it's going to be I can tell it's going to be a point of confusion and a needless delay in decision making on what focal length to use for what shots. What I want to do is cut back on all the choices I've got, and therefore use the physical lenses that I've got for the Canon XA10, which is an adapted widescreen lens that screws into the front over the main lens of the camcorder. And I've also got a telephoto 2x adaptive lens that screws in over the top of the lens, the zoom lens fixed in the camcorder as well. So I can get extreme wide, which is I think it's around about the 18 or 20 millimeter focal length, which is pretty wide. And then the 2x focal length magnifier, that'll make the 300mm maximum 600mm, which is like crazy. Anyway, it's for really close up. And that's going to be like the extremes of the lens capability. And then with the camcorder built-in zoom lens, I can go natively from like 33mm to 300mm. And in that range, I've got three settings that I've already kind of played around with. The 33mm, which is wide, and then in the middle, it's around about, I think it's got to be between 30 and 300mm. So what's that going to be? Something like 225, 230, something like that, which is still pretty telephoto-ish. So I might even reduce that to something in the order of, in fact, I've already done this, 85mm. So 85mm is pretty much halfway. Whoops, there's an indicator on the camcorder where if I go a third of the way in telephoto, that makes a 35mm. Halfway makes it 85mm, and then to the right of that telephotoed in, I can make it into like a 105 or something like that. which those three become a wide, a mid, and a close-up. And that way I can restrict myself to having like 5 lens choices. I can go super wide with the adapted wide lens. I can then go wide, mid, and close up, and then like telephoto with the ×2 zoom. And in that way I can reduce my lens choices. And I've always got, worst case, I just have the telephoto lens built in all the time. I just have one lens that I have to work with. And the video quality is not too bad. Lighting here is not ideal. And the video tests I've done with that camcorder, it's a 1080p camcorder. So the resolution is not great, but I'm not really interested in a high-res camera. I like working with 1080p. It's just a really good file size. And the quality that we're getting off YouTube is compressed anyway, so that, and changed. So most of the time what we're viewing on our iPhones, and that's where most of the YouTube videos are going to be shown, most of the time that resolution is down at 360, 720, sometimes a little bit higher, but that's often where it sits. Unless you go in and change it, you take a note, you'll be able to see for yourself what you're viewing this on right now. It's probably going to be 720p. And then you've got to physically change it to upgrade the resolution. So for me, 4K is like overkill. I'm not going to use it. So I'll stick with that. So that means I want to stick with the Canon XA10 as camera A, basically. So that'll be a unique kind of a thing that I bring to my videos as well. Is I'm going to use a camcorder. Yep, there we go, done. And so that means I've got to work out the story to carry the video and then back that up with good audio. And that's how I think stories should be on YouTube. You should have authenticity, and then an authentic story, and an authentic character, and then have an authentic sound to back up what's being shown. Doesn't have to be high quality video, but just some kind of color video or black and white, whatever. So story comes first, then the sound, and then comes the visuals in my mind, which fits in well. So which is interesting because the reverse is what actually happens. I'm planning on doing the video, get the sound for all of the scenes that I've got, and then edit and chop and change things around so that the story then follows. Following Ali and Casey's kind of storytelling more than anyone else's. Yeah. So in the next 3 to 4 days, that's what I'll concentrate on there. So, cool. If you've stayed along to the end to see this, kudos, man. Thanks for doing that. I'm going to refer back to this in the future for sure to tweak this and edit the edit, so to speak, in the future. So this is going to be interesting. There we go. That's going to end that video for the day. And we'll do another video tonight, actually, because I've got time to do a lot of this stuff now and see what we come out with. So I will talk to you again, or you'll see me again tonight. I'll do another video. Okay. Until then, bye-bye.